Why would no Canadian buy their bread? Well, Canadians tend to think the softer the bread, the better the quality is, which cannot be further from the truth. Hello you guys and welcome to my kitchen. Don't worry, I'm not hosting any type of cooking show here today. But you know those like TikToks that people always follow now where someone's like decorating a cake and just telling you some totally random story about their life? I love those. So we're gonna do that today. I'm gonna cook some lunch and we're gonna talk about some of the best foods here in Germany that really, truly, I'm sorry to say, make the Canadian versions absolutely suck. So today, while we're in the kitchen, I would like to introduce you to today's sponsor, and that is HelloFresh. I know I likely don't have to tell you anything about HelloFresh. You've probably already heard about it. All you want is that awesome code that you can get from HelloFresh, and I have that for you today with the code HelloLife. Go down and click that link below. But if you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, somehow, this is HelloFresh. It is the simple solution for cooking fresh and delicious meals without the stress of grocery shopping and meal planning. You simply pick your favorite meals and then pick for how many people you would like that meal to be for and how many days a week you would like this kochbox or cooking box delivered to your door. You can also pick between more than 30 different recipes every week. It is constantly changing and they have a good mix between vegan, kid-friendly, vegetarian, you name it. It is a subscription model, so you also have the opportunity to order weekly. You can pause whenever you need to pause, skip a week if you're on vacation, and of course you can also cancel at any time. And with my awesome coupon code down below, you can save up to 90 euros on your first 4 HelloFresh boxes. As always, I have included that link down below for you guys, and as an added bonus, you will also get free shipping on your first box. So let's get cooking, shall we? Let's talk about potatoes. German potatoes, there's a reason they call you guys Kartoffelkopfs, isn't there? And that is probably, yes, because Germans love potatoes. It is true. But also, you guys have like the best potatoes, the best quality potatoes. Let's start with potato salad, for example. I kid you not, hated potato salad back in Canada. I thought it was like the most disgusting thing ever. I just found it way too sour and way too mayo-ish, like with mayonnaise. Whereas here, a lot of the time they'll either use crème fraîche if you're doing the one version of the German potato salad, or you can also do it with oil and vinegar. Either way, guys, honestly, they both taste way better than they do in Canada. My family actually, every time I come home, they love Costco and they buy this like one red potato salad and they're like, oh my God, Jenna, this is the best potato salad ever. You have to try it. And every time I try it, I'm like, guys, it just doesn't compare. And of course, I could mention Pommes, but that just doesn't count. But what I will mention is Bratkartoffeln. Bratkartoffeln, I don't even think we have this in Canada. It's so different in Canada than it is here in Germany. I love oil. It is crispy and crunchy. It's cooked with bacon. I don't even eat bacon, but I take the bacon out because I just love the flavor. But this is something that we have in Canada, but it just doesn't taste even remotely the same. Potatoes in Germany are the best. And then you've got bread from the bakery, which in general tastes a lot better in Germany. But what you probably didn't know is that although we do have bakeries in Canada and they do taste really good, the prices are actually quite high and they can be few and far between. So if you live in the city, great. But if you live in suburbia, like many of us do in Canada, it is sometimes hard to actually find a good quality bakery. And if you do, then you're really paying the price for it. So here in Germany, you can really get good quality bread for a very reasonable price. I actually get some of my best bread where they make it fresh in a wood stove at the flea market outside. Absolutely delicious. So most of us tend to actually just buy from the supermarket. It's a lot easier. Obviously, it doesn't taste nearly as good as it would if you got it fresh from the bakery here in Germany. And out of convenience, it's just much easier that way. So bread is a no-brainer. You probably already knew that. Once you go German bread, guys, you can't go back. Although I did see on like Goodbye Deutschland. Does anybody else watch that? That a German family actually went to Canada to open a bakery and they were thinking, oh, this is gonna be a great idea. And then they got there and nobody bought their bread. Why would no Canadian buy their bread? Well, Canadians tend to think the softer the bread, the better the quality is, which cannot be further from the truth. In Germany, yes, the outside is super crispy, but it's the inside that counts. The nice soft center, I mean, unless you're buying something like Pumpernickel or Schwarzbrot, well then maybe it's not gonna be soft, but nonetheless, absolutely delicious. And then you've got pizza, of course, and that's not just because of the dough, or I mean, maybe it's because of the close proximity to Italy, I'm not sure. However, pizza here is absolutely delicious. In Canada, you actually buy pizza by the slice. That might be a little bit different for some of you watching this, because in Germany, we actually get like the pizza as a whole and not by the slice. Sometimes nowadays you can get like that slice of pizza at a fast food chain in Canada for the same price as one of these like massive, super gooey, cheesy, delicious thin crust pizzas here in Germany. Now the pizza itself is not always thin throughout, but you sometimes get like that really fluffy crust here that is chewy and delicious. My absolute favorite here is the original pizza from Naples. And unless you're willing to spend some big bucks and you find some hidden gem in Canada, it is not as easy to find really, really good pizza as it is here in Germany. That's my thought. Whenever I go home, the pizza, I'm just like, this will never compare. Pizza, don't even get me started. And then you've got chocolate. And chocolate in Canada, I used to absolutely love. Actually, one of my favorites was cookies and cream chocolate bar. And when I taste it now, I'm like, this tastes like plastic. It does not even taste like chocolate. If I'm being honest, I don't even think it actually is chocolate. It might actually be like this confectionery chocolate slash candy that isn't even real chocolate. And that was my favorite. I'm like embarrassed to admit that, because now even like the cheap chocolate here in Germany is 1,000 times better than the good chocolate back in Canada. Like you can actually get Ferrero Rochers, for example, in Canada, but they taste entirely different. I don't even know why. And so I'm not gonna lie, some of my favorite chocolates here are actually the ones that are quite cheap. So like all of the Ferrero products or the Milka chocolate bars. Kinder chocolate, we pretty much only have Kinder Surprise. We do have Kinder Bueno as well in Canada, but it's still, again, not the same, you guys. So I don't recommend going from Germany and then visiting Canada and deciding that you're craving some chocolate while you're there. It's really not that good. And then you got your cheese here, and you're so close to the Netherlands. Sorry, I know you guys can't see me, but I hope it's okay. It is just amazing. Like you can get it by the wheel or you can get it by the slice. But I've mentioned to you guys before, it is a lot cheaper in Germany. The quality of the cheese here is incredible. In Canada, you actually you buy like a big block of cheese, Cracker Barrel, if you'd like to know. And it is cheddar cheese, so it is orange. And that's pretty much all we eat in Canada because it's the cheapest option. And I think I might have also told you this before, but when I first met my husband, he would eat like super thick amounts of butter on his bread. And I used to think like, oh, that's disgusting. And now I realize that I do the same thing. So I do have to admit that there is a reason for that. There is a reason that Germans eat a lot more butter than we do in Canada. And that is simply because it tastes so much better. It is thicker, it is creamier, it is fresher. Everything about it is so much better. So now I go home and I typically actually don't even eat butter when I go home. I try to like eat, I don't know, artichoke and asiago dip, for example. But while I'm here in Germany, I eat a lot more butter. So now I'm being a hypocrite and eating just as much butter on my bread as my husband does. Every time my Canadian family comes to Germany, they look at us and I'm like, just try it by the spoonful. Call me crazy, but once you've tried butter in Canada, you'll understand why a spoonful of butter in Germany might just be delicious. And while I'm chopping lettuce here, I can also say that anything to do with cabbage, I was not a huge fan of back in Canada. But in Germany, it's a little bit different. You've got Rotkohl and Grünkohl and normal Kohl cabbage and Kohlroulade and Grünkohl mit Würstchen. There are so many different versions of cabbage here in Germany, and although my stomach doesn't necessarily agree with it all the time, I do absolutely love it, and that is something that I would never eat back home. It is rather gross, similar to potato salad. If we're comparing like a Kraut salad or cabbage salad, it would be rather mayo-y or sour, versus here it's just fresh and can be creamy or vinegar and oil, and it is simply delicious here. We often have green cabbage, or kale as we would say in English, with sausages in the fall when harvest comes around for cabbage time. And there's just a lot of tradition here in Germany around cabbage, a lot of food tradition and culture around cabbage, and I really love it. I still wouldn't eat it in Canada. I wouldn't lay a finger on it in Canada, probably because it comes out of a glass in Canada and it's not like authentic German Krautsalat. But there's another one. And I really love that in Germany they have like these seasons for their fruits and vegetables. So when asparagus season comes around, it's like a huge ordeal here. And a lot of expats and foreigners coming to Germany might look at the asparagus and be like, what is that? Like, it honestly kind of looks like part of a male body, and it looks super strange if you've never seen white asparagus before. So I'd say both the green asparagus and the white asparagus here in Germany is absolutely delicious. It's not that it tastes worse in Canada, but it's not that easy to find. So of course you can find green asparagus everywhere in Canada, and it tastes relatively the same, but I find that Germans really know how to prepare it well. They have multiple different asparagus recipes. We have Spargel soup, and my mother-in-law makes some of the best asparagus soup I've ever had. It's with white asparagus, and at the beginning I was just like, I don't know if I really want to try this because it looks weird, but I'm telling you now, it is amazing. I mean, maybe you could find it in Canada at a specialty shop somewhere, but it's not that popular. I definitely keep my asparagus eating to when I'm in Germany and focus on eating other things in Canada that I really miss when I go home. One last thing that might not be food, but I couldn't resist, is beer, of course. I don't need to mention that again, that's an obvious one, but Radler as well. In Germany we have this Naturtrub Radler, which tastes really fresh, and I believe we call it a shanty in Canada. It's not very popular, but in Canada it also tastes a lot more artificial. So, cheers. And there you have it. I never managed to make it look quite like it does in the photo, but it always ends up tasting incredible, and I'm always relatively surprised at what I'm able to make with some HelloFresh instructions. So I hope that this was entertaining for you guys and I wasn't too hectic in the kitchen for you. I had a lot of fun filming for you guys today. Don't forget, the link is down below for you guys to get some massive savings. Make sure to use that code HelloLife for some huge savings on your first 4 boxes. Super easy, super fun. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.